in the active. So, what we're going to do now, guys, is you're going to come up to the front, where I will do live demos on these techniques that I just talked about, and then you guys are going to perform it later. Just a heads up, we're going to record this for internal use purposes. But they're going to record me. There might be some of you that are in the frame, so I just want to let you know that that's going to happen. All right, let's go up to the front so I can do the live demo. So these are the very basic instruments that we need to obtain our aseptic technique, or that we need to perform our aseptic technique. Bunsen burner with gas, a striker that will help us turn on the Bunsen burner, and inoculating loop. Right? Inoculating loop is usually metal that will allow us to get it to bright hot and transfer. This is the medium that we use to transfer one bacteria to the other side. All right, so we're going to start by turning on our Bunsen burner. The way we do this is with our gas. The gas pumps that we use are completely open when they are 90 degrees from the starting point, right here, and they close if we go all the way up, and then turn it back on right here. So first thing that we're going to use is to make sure that we have properly flow of gas from the pump to the Bunsen burner. The best way to do that is just to here until we can hear the gas. And this Bunsen burner wouldn't be all right there. So right there, I can hear there's gas flow. Now I can turn it on. The way we're going to do this, gas is coming from the side, so I'm going to put my striker on the side and spark it. So if this happens, just going to put a little bit more gas. All right, and we are going to obtain an initial flame. Now, we want a very particular flame in order to work. The flame that we want to achieve with our Bunsen burner is a flame that contains two blue cones. An inner blue cone and an outer blue cone. So we are going to play around with our Bunsen burner until we can see it. All right. Right there, we see that there's a blue cone in the outside, there's a blue cone in the inside. Now, within this Bunsen burner, we have a sphere of hot air around us. We call that sphere of hot air the aseptic zone. So what's happening is that around here, we have a zone that it's free of microorganisms. That's the zone where we want to work. Now, another thing why this Bunsen burner is important is because it's going to be the way we're going to sterilize with fire our loop. This loop has microorganisms for two things. One, we've touched microorganisms with it before, and it's in an environment where it gets contaminated with microorganisms itself. So the way we flame our loop is going vertically, insert it in the outer blue cone, and let it get bright red. Now, I do it vertical, on a vertical position to save time. You can also do it from an horizontal horizontal way. Now, the only problem with that is that you need to move all the way through the loop in order to obtain red hot across the whole metal plate. So what we're going to do, vertical, and let it get bright red. All right, and that's how we sterilize a loop. All right, now we're going to perform an aseptic transfer from slant to slant. So first thing we do, always when we're working here, is label the material that we're going to use. Now, the information that we are going to use is the class number, which is 1231, your section number, 107, the date, which today is September 14th, 2017, your initials to indicate who was working with this microorganism, and the microorganism species or label that we give in this lab. So we're going to do a transfer of Micrococcus luteus. So I'm going to identify my tube as ML. All right. Now, after I have all this label, I can start doing my transfer. I'm going to put everything aside. This is the way we do a slant to slant transfer. Let me demonstrate without speaking to you, and then I'm going to explain the transfer. So just pay attention so you can have visual on how to do it. Alright, that procedure is what we call a slant to slant transfer. Let me explain step by step. Alright, first step whenever we're going to work with our loop will be sterilizing it. We're going to do that by placing it vertical, let it go red hot, and then take it out from the fire. From here, we're going to let it cool down because we're working with living organisms. So if we put it bright red hot inside our tube, we're going to kill our microorganisms. Now, second step is you guys will have to use your fingers independently in this class. So second step will be uncapping the source, inflame the source to sterilize the container, go with my loop inside, grab my bacteria, which is just on the surface of the agar, so we're not going to pierce, we're just going to scrub a little bit from the surface. Third is flaming it back and cap it. Fourth step is uncapping my objective tube, sterilize it, go in. I'm not going to pierce the gel, but I'm just going to spread the bacteria on top of the gel, sterilize it, and close it. Now, if you paid close attention, you actually realize that everything I did it inside the aseptic zone. That's very important. If I open this containers here, outside the aseptic zone, then there's a lot of microorganisms outside that can get into our medium. We want to avoid that. We do that by working close to the fire. If you realize this flame is really big, and that also helps us to avoid, to keep a safer environment. So I'm going to put this away, and now I'm going to perform a slant to plate transfer. This is the plate we use